Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we're going to have Conor. Conor is from California in the US, but he lives in Glasgow in Scotland. So let's see what Conor has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello Conor, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself? Thanks for inviting me on this thing, man. It seems like a lot of fun.
Amazing. Thanks so much for taking the time this evening for the interview. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. It's so nice to see people, chase their dreams and do something a little bit weird in the universe, right?
So tell me, how was your day today?
Yeah, it was good. A lot of content creation, a lot of meetings. It feels like juggling three or four things, and I just don't know how to juggle, but we keep trying.
Tell me, what was the highlight of your day today?
Oh, so highlight of my day today. I think I made some kind of funny content that I'm really excited to share that I'll be posting in the next 30 minutes or so. So that's always good when you're done with the day. I think the highlights when you get it like finished, you're like, all right, I can sit down, I can relax for a second.
Tell me, where are you from, Conor?
So originally I am from the United States, but I live in Scotland right now. So I'm living in Glasgow.
And why the change from the US to Scotland?
Yeah, definitely. So after the military, you get something called the GI Bill, and they pay for your university. So I looked at that and said, this is kind of like my way to get the heck out of here. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse. My apologies. Get the heck out of here. And so I took that and I moved to Scotland because it's always been a dream to live here.
Wow. And where's about in the US you are from?
Yeah, so I moved around every 4 years or so. So I was born in California and then moved from California to Hawaii to Colorado to Florida to Colorado again, and then joined the military. So I moved back to California.
I see. And all your family are back in California as well?
No, they're Colorado, California, Hawaii. They're all scattered about.
I see. And tell me, what do you do for work, for a living, Conor?
So I'm the director of a charity, but I also run a multimedia business, and I'm a content creator.
So walk me through a little bit more about your journey, how everything started, in the, let's say, in the social media world.
Yeah, social media. I didn't have a social media at one point, and it was the beautiful days. I miss them very much. But I started volunteering at this horse rehabilitation charity. So they'd rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome horses that were abused.
Oh, wow.
And it was when I was trying to go to school for veterinary medicine, and when I was working with them, I became the vice chairperson, and then I noticed that they had like a 1,500 pounds a month hole in their budget. They were really misusing a lot of funds. So at the time I was in university, I was the president of Muay Thai. I was working two jobs myself, so I was like, I don't have time to work another job to get them more money, and I don't have time to wait for funding. Like, we need the money now. So I started doing OnlyFans and sex work to raise the money for them. And to do those things, you need social media. So that was the first time I ever created an Instagram account.
That's amazing. Oh, wow. I love the idea for you to somehow use your image, use your life for, you know what I mean, for a good benefits. I love
Yeah,
that.
I sat there and I was like, I don't have a moral objection against nudity and sex work. It's work like every other job. You're selling your body one way or another, but I do have a moral obligation to the animal. So to not do it and to not do everything I could at that time was actually the most morally reprehensible thing I could have done.
Wow. And you still create content creator, adult content creator or not?
Yep. Been doing it for about 5, 6 years now. So I'm an old timer in the industry.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
Okay, perfect.
But before we start our journey within the magic box, would you like you to tell me something interesting about yourself or maybe something that not many people know about you?
Unfortunately, when you're on the internet, everybody knows everything about you. There's not something that comes to mind that I've not been able to tell. I guess one thing interesting about me, I'd have to think about it. I'm not a very interesting guy, to be honest. I guess I was on Naked Attraction, so I went on TV naked at one point. But I think few
Really?
people do know that. Yeah.
Actually, tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, so I signed up for Naked Attraction, not knowing what Naked Attraction was. I was a little immigrant right off the boat, I tell you, and they caught me. They posted in my university Facebook page, and they said like looking for participants for a new dating show, Bravery, whatever. And people run master programs through that, and that's one of the master programs that they run. Sometimes they put on shows for media students, and so I thought it was that. And so I called them up, I razzle dazzled them, I put on the charm, and then a few months later, I was shaking ass on national television.
Oh my God. Is that back in the US or here in the UK?
It was in the UK. Yeah, it's Naked Attraction's not in the US yet, thank God.
Amazing. Love it. Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Yeah, I can definitely try. I don't remember
Amazing.
anything, but I'll be here with you.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Random fun questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song that's first relax before the first question. Okay? Let's do it. Right, so before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to answer, don't want to talk about, always can change, okay?
Perfect.
Amazing. First question is, who has been the most influential person in your life and why?
I'd definitely say my mother. She raised 5 boys all on her own, and I think the person that I am today has been shaped by her in so many ways. I not only I look like her, but I've also kind of grown up to be like her, and then I think that's the best blessing I could have ever asked for.
So far, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from her?
I there's been so many lessons. It's hard to kind of pinpoint one, but one that kind of came up to my memory recently is that my mother's a very generous person, like to a deficit to herself, and people know to kind of go to her, not to ask for things, but to tell her a sad story, and she'll jump into action, fix it. And I'd have a conversation when I was a kid, like, they're just coming to you, they're crying poor mouth, they can fix it themselves, but they just want you to give them the solution, the money, and they're taking advantage of you. And she said, that's fine. If that's who they are, that's who they are. But this is who I am. And if I see someone in need or someone comes to me needing help, I'm going to help. And I'm not going to let someone, if they have ill intentions or not, change that, because I've been able to be there for people. And I think that was really, it was a beautiful moment to be like, don't let the goodness in you be dampened by maybe somebody might taking advantage. Like it doesn't make sense.
Okay, so your mom is watching this interview right now. When you have a moment, an opportunity to send her a message, what would you say? She's watching.
Mom, it's okay to call me sometimes. You don't have to wait for me to call you. You can pick up the phone too, motherfucker. You doing?
Oh my God. Literally, you put me in a situation where I'm originally from Brazil and I've been living in the UK most of my life. And actually, the other day I was thinking about that as well, because I call my mom all the time. I think maybe she doesn't understand, or maybe she got used to it. And you know what I mean?
They don't want to bother us. That's what my mom. She's like, I don't want to bother you. You're so busy. But if I scroll through the phone with my mom, I look like a stalker. It's like called mom yesterday, called mom today, called mom different. And it's just like she never calls me.
Right. And actually, the other day, I left like, okay, I'm gonna leave for a while to see how long it's gonna take for her to reach me out, and suddenly I receive a message from her. Is everything all right? I was like, oh my God, yes, everything's all right, of course.
Lucky you. I did that at one point. It was a month. I didn't hear from her. I was like, is she dead? Am I dead? Who's dead?
For me, I don't think it took a month, but it took like at least 2 weeks for sure. I was like, okay, I get your point. I totally understand your point. Next question. Hey, Conor, next question is, if you could go anywhere in the world right now, right this moment, where would you go and why?
Where would I go and why if I could go anywhere in the world? I think I've hit such a part in life to where I'm in this beautiful foreign land to me, and I'm so content in my life that I don't want to go anywhere. If I could go anywhere right now, it'd be home. I love my home. I love the people I've built my home with. I'm in the office right now working, and I just want to go home.
Are you planning to stay in Scotland for a long while, or you just see yourself there for a certain period?
I hope so. This has felt more like home to me than I think I've ever felt in the United States. As an American, you live every day with this worry on your chest. I'm 2 paychecks away from living on the streets, and here it just feels it's calmer. The people are nicer, things are cheaper, and just you feel like you can breathe.
What's the biggest joy of being Conor? What do you like the most about being you?
I think the biggest joy about being me is that I put my body on the internet, and because I'm not the what you would see in like the action movies or the what was kind of pushed down our throats. What's this beauty is? I'm not chiseled like the gods. I'm a chubby little guy. And people will message me like, you carry yourself with such confidence. You put yourself out there, and you look just like me. Like everything that I hate about myself, I see it on you, and everyone's cheering it on, and I feel not so bad. And so subconsciously or not in I didn't mean to, but I've helped people with their body image just by being out there and being imperfect.
And you always had this mindset of, somehow being amazing with your body, with your appearance, or it was kind of a turning point sometimes?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I'm kind of riddled with self doubt and insecurities, as we all are. We are the
Mhm.
human version of self cheese, Swiss cheese sometimes. But once you put yourself out there enough, and you realize it's not the end of the world to be imperfect, it's not the end of the world to have love handles or saggy skin or my weird nipples. It's just it is what it is. We all have a body. OnlyFans and put in sex work has helped me reconnect with to be okay in myself, and I really owe it a debt for that.
Well, I can see those tattoos here around your neck. Oh wow, that's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
What's the meaning of it? There's a meaning behind?
I kind of riddled my mind with why I was so in a rush to get tattoos. And, I think as a survivor of sexual assault, you have a weird relationship with your skin and the way that it has been touched or not touched, and you want to see it change. Like I think that's why I've kind of got into bodybuilding and so into tattoos, because I wanted to sculpt myself into something that looked strong, and in my mind that looked strong. And then eventually you're just like, oh, actually I just like tattoos now, don't I? And then you get a bunch of tattoos, and it's like it's a never-ending journey.
Tell me the very first one that you ever got, the latest one, and the most meaningful one.
Yeah, so my latest one is my neck tattoo here that goes up there. If you're ever thinking about getting a neck tattoo, it hurts. I've never tapped out. Like my groin is tattooed, and I've never tapped out. I was thinking about like getting out of there. Like I was in the middle of the tattoo. I'm like, I'm gonna have to piss my pants to end this without looking like a coward. My first one is my shoulder tattoo. My family has tradition when you're 18, my mom gets a tattoo with you. But I was in the military, so she kind of flew out for a weekend. We chose it together and stuff like that. My
Oh,
most meaningful one, oh, I'd say my chest tattoo. For very personal reasons. I don't want to bring down the vibes and stuff like that, but I think I like my chest tattoo most.
okay, next question. Let's do it. Yes, you can always dance with me. So before the next question, tell me what's the biggest joy of being a dude content creator, and what do you find most challenging about it?
Yeah, so the biggest joy is the community, being part of this group of people who have gone through the same situations and understand each other so much more, and you kind of have that shared connection with them, and they're the most beautiful, funny, interesting people you ever met. Like their job makes them to where they have to be great at customer service and marketing and creative, and it just forms into really weird, messed up people, and I love it. And the downside is I guess the constant need to create content that is in a sexual manner. There are only so many creative ways you can do this in ways that you're comfortable with, and there's this kind of a force in the back of your mind pushing you towards, crossing your own boundaries to give people what they want, and I think you have to kind of keep that in check.
And how does work your schedule? Do you collaborate with people around Scotland? Do you travel sometimes? Do you post every day? How does work your page?
Yeah, so I try posting every day, and you have to post on every social media platform and a whole bunch of different content. So you're always creating something. I try posting every day and messaging people every day,
Mhm.
which is the most exciting part of it, but also so exhausting. You're answering 400 messages a day,
Wow.
and it's great, but it's tiring. I'm going to start working with people here soon, and I've only worked with a few people, trusted friends and people that I really like the vibe of. But in the next couple months, I'm going to start working with more people, sexually, I guess.
And which audience is your focus? Is for the for the straight community, for the LGBTQ plus community, or how does it work for you?
I definitely try to avoid the straight community the most I can, especially straight men. One, I don't think straight men are interested in me, and two, I'm not interested in them. I've seen how they speak to people, and sometimes that is a bit off-putting. My main audience is really whoever likes my vibe, and that usually tends to be, the LGBTQI plus community, straight women as well. Sometimes not as often. I
Huh?
think they kind of realize like I'm not really their cup of tea, but it's mostly them.
And do you collaborate with guys, with women, or just with women?
I collaborate with more men than I do women, but I try to keep a nice balance because there a lot of my bi audience enjoys that. A lot of women enjoy that as well, and I've gotten an uptick on non-binary, trans women, and straight women as well. So it's been interesting, yeah.
Amazing. Good. Next question for you is, what's the biggest difference between you and your best friends?
The biggest difference between me and my best friend, I have one best friend and I keep it very small, and the biggest difference is about a foot of height. He's a tall guy. He's very unconfrontational, and I'm very confrontational. If I think something needs to be said, I'm going to say it, and I'll kind of put myself out there as a joke sometimes, just to. But yeah, they're a little coward, and I love them for it.
Oh, and how did you pass cross for the very first time?
Yeah, we were both content creators, and it was kind of a friend of a friend thing. And like the first time I met him, I was just like, "You're mine, you're mine. Come
Oh,
here, I'm gonna keep you forever."
amazing. Next question. Let's do it. All right. Next question is, what is your most embarrassing moment?
Oh, my most embarrassing moment. That's a hard one. I don't really get embarrassed very easily. I think it's a skill to laugh at stuff. But I guess maybe when I was like a child, we went to a farm for this little after school thing, and this horse bit me, and it bit me so hard it scared me, and I farted really loud, and I tried to blame the horse, and no one believed me. And I think I was more embarrassed about getting caught in this lie. I was like, guys, I promise it was the horse, man. I would never. And then I just sat on the bus and cried for a little bit, because as you do when you're 21, I mean 12.
When you think about your childhood memories, what's the best memory that comes to your mind?
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people who I don't mean to go down the vibes again, but like I think one of the biggest consequences of sexual abuse as in your childhood is that it really messes with your mind of your memories. And so I sometimes struggle to think like, is this real, or is this just a story I've told myself a bunch of times, or what's this? And I can't remember past a certain age. So my living memory starts around the age of 13. I can't remember anything past that, but I do remember my mom playing hacky sack at my brother's 16th birthday party and trying to kick with both feet and landing straight on her ass. And little 13-year-old me found that to be the funniest thing in the world.
Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Right, Connor. So, of course, Christmas is just around the corner. Yeah, very soon. So, tell me, what is your connection with Christmas? Is it something that you celebrate like most of people, or do you have a different celebration, or what's the meaning of Christmas for you?
Yeah, I think I celebrate Christmas as many like first generation immigrants sometimes do, to where it's kind of a lonely experience. Most Christmases I do my shopping early. I buy the things I buy from the store in double the day before, and I sit by myself. I'll call my family, and I'll say Merry Christmas, and I'll wish them the best. And then it's a somber experience sometimes. The funniest memory I ever had, I was dating somebody. I went to their house for Christmas, and their parents got a divorce on that day. And I was
Oh,
just sitting there. I was like, should I leave? Do you guys want me to go home?
tell me, during the Christmas period, tell me a song that when you listen to it, you go like, "Oh my God, it's happening now. It's Christmas." And one movie that for you, is a must. You need to watch it, and a food as well that for you it tastes Christmas.
Well, I think I'm gonna have to go very basic. I don't consume a lot of media like that. The Grinch is definitely one of my more favorite, as you can tell by the Grinch head in my background there. I don't know if you can see that. Food is pineapple Bavarian, which is something my mom made every year around this time, and she got really famous for it, or Doma, which is really good. And music wise, probably just the general store music of Mariah Carey singing her little heart out. She's making her money on that, honey, and I love it for her.
Amazing. Next question is, what's the best advice have you ever given to someone?
The best advice I've ever given to somebody.
Yeah.
Hmm. I talk a lot of shite, to be honest with you. So a lot of words leave my mouth. But The best advice I've ever given somebody. That's a hard one. I give a lot of advice to my friends who, suffer with some kind of mental illness or another, and they're a bit impulsive. So I think the best advice is, if you're not sure on your standing or situation or how you're feeling, the worst thing you can do is bring other people into that, because now you're not only juggling your own emotions. Actually, no, the best advice I've ever given is that, you are not responsible for your emotions. You're responsible for the actions of your emotions. And
A good
so
one.
many times in life, I've seen people use their trauma or their past events to blame their actions or blame what they're doing, but in fact you're acting on those emotions. And there's two ways you can go after a traumatic event: is you can use that to connect to people and be there for them, or you can use that to excuse your shitty behavior for a long time. It's whatever you choose. I call it the trying or the Ryan of the effect. The Ryan's going to punch your drywall because his dad yelled at him once, and the trying person's going to work on this to stop the harm.
What's the meaning of life for you, Conor?
The meaning of life for me, I would say it's in those moments of giddy, of appreciation that we kind of wash over us, that we're not expecting. The walking the same path you've taken 1,000 times, and then suddenly you look up and realize how beautiful it is around you, or appreciating the thing that someone did for you a couple weeks ago. That there is a moment of the meaning of life. It's unscripted, unsupervised joy that is no one sees you have, but you have, and I love those moments.
Tell me a life lesson that life has taught you that feel very grateful for it.
I think the best life lesson I learned is that I do want to live.
Wow.
I joined the military with a plan of dying. To be less of a burden in my death than I was in my life, to die a hero. So at least my mother could hold on to that. After the passing of my brother and seeing how that affects everyone. And then in the war, realizing, oh no, I want to live. And it's taken away a lot of more extreme feelings that I've had, I would say.
Wow. Are you okay to talk about the military journey?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do so in kind of more vague terms, if
No,
that's okay.
of course. No, of course, of course. So my question for you is, when you think about the time that you spend there, what's the most, let's say, a memory that's you hold close to your heart? So I'm sure, at the time it wasn't easy. You went through situations that for you, for sure, wasn't easy at all. However, tell me a positive moment or situation that you go like, you know what? That's how I'll hold close to my heart.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of positive moments in there. You sprinkled into the worst moments of your life, so they stand out a little bit more extreme in your vision. But the camaraderie of sucking together, life being hard together, the laughing hysterically because you're sleepy and you haven't slept in a couple days, or sitting there on post with somebody and a rocket fires off of your head and he just looks at you and he's like, what do you want me to do about it? It's already shot. Moments like that, where you, in those times, you're like, oh, these are gonna be my friends forever, my brothers forever, and then like I never talk to any of them again. But that feeling is hard to replicate.
I see. 3 questions left. Let's do it. You are a good dancer because I saw your videos on TikTok and I could see you express yourself through music.
These hips don't lie, girl. Look at them go. Woo.
Crazy. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about your page on TikTok. My God, I was checking some of your videos, you got millions of viewers, people. I was like, wow. So tell me, what's the idea behind your page on TikTok?
Yeah, I originally did the page on TikTok to raise money for the charity I was working for, and then after that, it became a vehicle to fund my own animal sanctuary, and kind of just spread the message to cover the media of its own. What the meaning of it now is, I don't know. I'm lost, and a lot of content creators will find themselves lost in the sauce sometimes and unknown. I'm flopping, and that's okay. Eventually, I think if anyone does social media, my biggest advice is, you do not want to catch fire. You don't want to be hot. When you catch fire, you burn out, you burn, you're off the pan, goodbye. You want to be the soup of influencers, you're on there for a long time, you're simmering.
Tell me the most common comment or question that people ask you on your page. There is something like a topic or about your looks or about your presence. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a common experience with a lot of influencers or just because I'm a sex worker, but people really want to know about my sexuality. They want to know, who I'm sleeping with, who I've slept with, and questions that would be really weird to walk up and ask somebody. I think it's because I'm very straight presenting that, but I'm also not at the same time. That people they catch hints of things. They're like, wait, was your presentation? And I always answer the question the same thing, like I'm Conzo. I like who I like, and if somebody likes me back, I'm lucky. Sexuality is fluid, and I got a lot of that.
I see. Amazing. Next question is talking about you. So tell me what makes you a unique person.
Um, I don't know. That's a hard thing. I'd never really seen myself as a new person. I think I am extraordinarily human, just like the rest of us. But I think to be human is to be hypocritical. It's to be empathetic. It's to be joyful. And I'm very, I guess, I am more appreciative of those emotions than most people would be. So I think that might be my unique point.
What would be the title of your memoir?
Um, phew, that's a title of my memoir. You're really hitting me with some left field ones here. I'd probably be like, man, that was hard. That's what she said. A story about Conzo. I don't know.
And when people they read your memoir, what's something that you like people to take with them? What's the message that you like, to be somehow, passed through to others?
I think the main thing I want people to know is that we are all very much in this together, where we are surrounded by our fellow poor people, and the experience of people who are nothing like you is going to be much more similar to you than you believe, and to not be tricked into thinking that the people that you can harm are the ones that are harming you. You can't fix a problem by making problems for other people. I think that'd be my main goal, I guess.
Amazing. Next question. Two questions left. Let's do it. Okay, before the next question, tell me about, your experience arriving in Scotland. First of all, since you've been there, did you find some Americans there as well? The American community is big or not? Also, tell me about, accents, or when you got there, you went like, oh my God, it's interesting to see that or to hear that, or tell me a little bit about your experience arriving in Scotland.
Yeah, it's definitely a culture shock. There are a lot of things here that I've never had in my life, like public transportation. So getting on the bus and they're like single or return. I'm like, I'm single but ready to mingle. Like you make mistakes like that. You don't know how things work that are very simple to everyone else. I There are a few Americans here, but I came here in 2017. So the burning question on everyone's mind was, what kind of American are you? Because they started to see that we are actually kind of weird. They've always known, but they're definitely seeing it now. And my experience with the accents is I worked at a bar at night, so I kind of did the whole baptism by fire when it came to the different types of accents. Like I can decipher boy accents all over Scotland now.
Tell me a word or different one word in Scotland that you learned that you found very interesting, the slang or something that you thought, oh, it means something interesting.
Um, I learned this one hard, but it's getting your hole. I was talking to a bouncer and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go get my hole." I was like, "Do you want help?" I used to dig holes as a kid. Like, where are you digging this hole at? And in his mind, he's like, "Did this guy just ask if he wanted to help me have sex?" Like, I will. I'm a friend like that. But no, I did not understand that until I was too far into a conversation to back out.
Dear. Right, I would like you to answer the next question with your best Scottish accent. Can you do that?
No, they said they'll deport me if I try.
Right, next question is, what's your funniest or the most unforgettable date that you had?
My most unforgettable date.
Or funny or memorable, something went wrong, or could be anything that comes to your mind.
Oh, I don't date very often. I went on a date with the most beautiful man I've ever seen in my entire life in the Netherlands. He's like Pinterest famous. And I remember watching him like a couple years before I started social media. I was like, that's a handsome man. And so walking around the Netherlands holding hands and stuff like that with the most beautiful creature, it was nice. It was nice.
Tell me about your first kiss and your first love.
My first kiss and my first love. Yeah, emotions are quite different when you're younger. You look back with these rose-colored glasses. I don't know if I've truly experienced love in the sense of which I've experienced it when I was older, if that makes sense. The way I'm experiencing love now is a very new thing. When you're more healed after everything. But my first kiss, oh, what was Morgan in a park? They're on top of me, very strong. There's my first love. I can't tell you, to be honest with you. I don't remember.
Do you fall in love easily when you meet someone that you feel connected with, or not? It takes time for you to somehow let your feelings, flow.
No, I mean, I think it all comes back to, as an unhealed survivor of sexual violence, your love and sexuality and things aren't to be given; they're to be taken at that age. And so, you catch on to the attention people are giving you. You're like, you must want this, take this, and you don't understand why you're doing it. So when I was younger, it'd be like, oh yeah, fell in love, but it's just unhealthy attachments. But now I very much realized if I don't care for somebody or see something as a forever thing, I won't even enter into the boyfriend dating stage. But no, I definitely feel very deeply in love, at least.
Can I ask you a very difficult question? You don't need to answer if you don't want to.
Yeah, of course.
Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Right. So let's see. If you had this, you mentioned a few times about those situations growing up, which was, I'm sure, hard and difficult to understand. About being abused. My question for you is, knowing the person you are today and the place you are today, if you had the superpower somehow take that out of your life at the time, would you do it or would you keep it, knowing the person you are today?
That was a hard one. I mean, there are things that's changed because I do have a lot of survivor guilt because my brother had to go through the same thing. So I take on a lot of the responsibility for what happened to him. Um, eh, but if it was just me, then I don't think I would change anything because I've become so much more empathetic and understanding of these situations. And I don't think I would want to live in a world to where I heard of someone being sexually assaulted or speaking about their experience and think, well, what were you wearing? Or how did you get into this? Or why did it take so long for you to tell anyone? It took me years to even
Mhm.
remember. I don't think I'd want to be that person. And if I met him, I would hate him, So I'm okay with how I am. There are parts that are hard. There are parts that are funny. There are, you know, but I'm happy with who I am. So I'd have to keep it.
Yes, I think just who goes through that can understand the situation, can, talk about and be there because, I'm sure it's something that I think no one is prepared. No one, you know what I mean, not even understand that. And it's something that's even going through that for sure. It was a hard time. So thanks.
Yeah, it allows me to advocate for men that we should feel no shame in what happened to us. There's no other crime that men feel this kind of shame, and I think it's because it challenges our manhood and our masculinity that we hide this. And like, no, it's okay. You didn't ask for this. You didn't deserve this. No one deserves this. It's okay to talk about it, and the more that you hold it in, the more damage you're letting it do to you.
Absolutely, and it's about healing as well, Conor. And I'm glad that you shared that because I even got goosebumps now because I think it's helping others. I think people
Mm.
sometimes maybe someone could be going through that and just see someone so open talking about it in the place where you are right now. I think is inspiring, and sometimes those people feel guilty as well because they don't know. They think that they provocate that, what I mean, to happen.
Mm.
So it's a lot of things involved, and I think listen to people like you talking very open about it is part of healing and helping others as well. For
Yeah,
sure. Last question. Ready?
let's do it.
Do it. Last one. Right. So before the next question, so this interview actually is gonna go live on the 1st of January. So it's the first interview of 2026. Going
Happy
live.
New Year! Woo!
So my question for you is, during this time of the year, where is a new year starting, one year just finished now, you kind of person that make new resolutions or you just go with the flow? Do you have some people that have some superstitions or about the date? So tell me a little bit more about your take on that.
Yeah, I think everyone's really hopeful in the new year that starting new things. You know, you want to get more back into fitness and things like that. I'm definitely not immune to that. I look at a new year and I'm like, I should do this class. I should go here. I should learn this. This is the year I'm going to learn the thing. And you give it your best effort. But I'm definitely known to pick things up and drop them really quickly. I'm luckily fitness at least stuck with me for a little bit. But I will definitely buy a new instrument and then return it by February.
When you think about 2025 just gone, tell me a moment that you go like, wow, that was a year, a situation in 2025 that you're always going to remember.
This is actually the year that I think I met my forever person, the love of my life, and they're a very extremely private person. So I respect that, but I've never felt the depths of love nor companionship or understanding as I feel it now. And to be stuck in a situation to where forever rolls off the tongue so effortlessly, it kind of brings tears to my eyes. To be honest with you, I'm so much.
Oh,
This is the most in love I've ever been, and so it's nice. I'm 9 months into it. Um,
oh my God.
maybe yeah, but it's this is probably the best year I've ever had in my entire life, and for that reason.
So send a message to this person right now. This person is watching this interview. What would you say?
um Oh, actually, that might be a really funny thing because we do this game to where we try to like secretly flip each other off. And then if you do it in weird and exciting ways, like for their birthday, I threw I decorated the house, and then they walked in and there was a chair with this little mannequin hand doing this. And so I won that day. In other ways, they hid behind the bed for like 20 minutes and I was looking everywhere, and then they just popped up and flipped me off. So they won there, but hopefully this means I won this day. I'm going to make them watch this now. Thank you.
For sure, you should, for sure. Hey, last question for you is, what did your parents do that comforts you the most?
That Sorry, that's what the most?
Comforts you the most. What do they do that comforts you?
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I still sit in my mom's lap, to be honest with you. She's a little lady now. She still lets me sit in her lap. My mom has a voice she puts on when she's about to lecture or to give advice, and I can hear it very clearly in my head. It's a tonal shift to where she enters into fucking to mentor mode. And so when she puts on that voice, I know she's giving it her full attention and she's really trying her best to help me. So it's very comforting.
Beautiful. Right, so on the end yet, let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to say some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with money.
Money, greed,
Fear.
courage,
Family.
family. Oh,
Yeah.
warmth,
Life.
joy,
Love.
internal. I know.
Religion.
Fear,
Sex.
joy,
Politics.
hatred.
Friendship.
Kai, I think of my best friend. Sorry.
Desire.
Skin scratch. I don't know.
Regret.
Fear again. I'm very scared of that.
Success.
Unattainable.
Wish.
Many.
Happiness.
I think of joy again. Sorry, I'm not very good at this word association thing.
No right or wrong. No right or wrong. What comes to your mind? One word for USA.
One word for USA. Probably undereducated.
One word
That's
for
2 words. Yeah, so I'd say misinformed.
one word for Scotland.
I would say lush.
Lush.
Yeah, the lush fields. It's beautiful. It's open. The greenery sprawls everywhere. The people they're open with their friendship and their joy. They're very lush people.
One word for if you could define your page on TikTok in one word, what that would be?
Freak. Look at this weirdo. What's this guy doing? Get out of the bunny costume. You're 33 years old.
And the last one, adult content creator, one word.
Adult content creator, probably uncertainty.
Interesting.
It's a very uncertain time for many people, and the porn industry is constantly under fire by religious rigidry. So it's a very uncertain time.
3 questions based on that. tell me the very first scene that you've done. That tell me the feeling. Were you nervous? You did something happen? And the second part of the question is, tell me a situation that you're never gonna forget. That could be anything. Something went wrong, or went wrong, or something went funny, or I
Mm.
don't know, when it was very hot, something I'm not expecting. Tell me those two.
Yeah. Yeah, so my first scene, I was so nervous. It was with Rebecca Goodwin, like my first porno scene. That was going to be out of my control. And I went down to England and I brought muffins, and I didn't know if I was supposed to like introduce myself. And then I had a really nervous tummy, and I struggled to perform because I was so nervous. I took the medication to keep an erection, but it turns out I just have high blood pressure, so it really helped my high blood pressure for a second. So yeah, I was a nervous wreck, and I'm lucky that it turned out okay and people enjoy it. Something that I'll never forget is probably after going on Naked Attraction, I was walking down the street of my hometown, where I lived at the time, and this uni student opened up the window and just like, "Hey, your Willie's on the TV," and I was like, "Oh, nice, thanks."
Let's play now, Connor and the Magic Box. And you can ask me a question. Before the last question, I'm sorry, before you ask him the question, what Scotland has taught you so far?
Scotland has taught me that that sometimes less is more. That
Mm.
people who are the biggest crime in Scotland is depravity. Like the government doesn't take care of its people because they don't have the resources to take care of their people. It's forgotten, but they have made do with less, and they have made so much more out of it.
And if you could choose anyone in the world for a collaboration for your page on, anyone, who would you choose and why for your adult content creator?
As a guy who does mostly solo stuff, who would I like to work with that would do really well? Uh, Probably my friend Luke in Manchester. We've been talking, and I think we're gonna the collab here pretty soon. And I'm really looking forward to that. I'm very selective with who I work with, so they're the only person that can come to mind. I don't want to work with some big famous person that's gonna get canceled in a week from now for saying a slur. No, thank you.
Okay, you can ask me a question now.
Yeah, definitely. So, what is your biggest regret from leaving home?
Great question, Connor. Wow, wow.
Oh, how the turntables have.
You know what? I left Brazil when I was 19-year-old. I came to Europe all the way on my own. And, regret for me is a word that for me, everything, there's no regret. I think everything happens for a reason. But based on your question, I think something, what is not even a regret, but maybe let's put the way something that I miss. I think, being so young on your own, starting, my God, complete away from your country, different culture, different, everything, like literally everything you can imagine. And I think for me, sometimes I felt a bit like, that I wish I could have some support, like literally support, literally all the way. Support when I say is like company, parenting, someone who could somehow guide me. At the time I didn't see that, but when I look back now, I was like, oh my God, when I saw my friends, in Europe, having their parents somehow guide them for a direction or support them in a way. And I started feeling like, oh my God, I never had that before. So I think it's not a regret, but maybe something that um, was missing there for me. That's when I think about it. However, I wouldn't change anything because I'm so happy where I am right now, and I wouldn't, like you mentioned before. I think those things in life just meant to be, just meant to happen for you to build the person you are today. But no
Yeah,
regret.
I
No,
think
no.
people I think people who leave home have to at some point come to terms with the fact that you have made a exchange of currency, the freedom that you get versus the time with the people you've left back. You get freedom, but every minute of joy you have here is a minute you don't have. And I think about my mom getting older, and I know this is going to hit me like like a house of bricks when she passes away, or I come home and she's more feeble, and I'm thinking I could have been here the entire time, but yet
Yeah.
I was so selfish and had to go chase my own dreams. And she very much supports me in this, but if I can't stay in America, and it's just like I regret that. I think that's my biggest regret.
Yes, I get your point as well. And sometimes I think about that as well. Actually, today I was thinking about that because, some Oh, I see. Yes, I was watching like a clip on YouTube, and this guy, he went for like those TV shows, and actually I got emotional afterwards because he stayed in this. It's like a Big Brother thing in Brazil, and he stayed like for 2 months there, and when he left the house, the presenter asked him like, "Who did you miss the most?" And he was talking about his mom, and he started getting emotional, and they brought his mom as a surprise, and oh my God, and I was thinking to myself, my God, he stayed 2 months away from
Mm,
his mom, and he felt that I've been away 20 years. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I go to Brazil once a year sometimes, so it's not like I don't see my mom every year sometimes. So, it just brought me, I just had the thought about it. My God, 2 months, he was already crying his eyes out. Imagine. So I just had a moment with myself, and I felt that, my God, is it the right thing? But again, you're just following your intuition, just follow your gut, I think. And as you said, they understand as well. They just want to see you happy. They just want to see you. They
To live
don't
your
raise,
own life.
yeah, they don't raise us for them. They raise us for the words. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
somehow, but I get your point as well. Somehow there is a thought here in our back of our mind that
Mhm.
maybe we could give more attention to that. Great question. Amazing.
Good
Did you enjoy,
answer.
did you enjoy the interview?
Yeah, it was really fun getting to chat, as kind of a random last minute thing. This was a lot of fun. And, I wish you the most luck on your journey in this content creation. I think this is a lot of joy and positivity in a sphere of, negativity catching attention. So good on you.
And thanks again, Conor. I know you are a busy man and you made time for the interview. When you replied my message, like, oh my God, he accepted. You know what I mean? So thanks for making time for the interview, and also thanks for bringing these very open topics that you talk about. I think it's amazing to share things and helping others as well.
Perfect.
Before
Well, thanks.
before before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
A positive message or anything to live by.
Yeah.
Um, I guess the only positive message I have is that it's okay to be imperfect and hypocritical, and to not be where you want to be just yet. Eventually, years from now, you'll feel calmer, you'll feel better, and you'll be somewhere near. It doesn't happen overnight. If you're putting me on the spot, I should wrote some down.
Oh no, it's okay. Absolutely, I get your points. Regards to your family and friends, thanks again for the interview and keep in touch. Happy New
All right,
Year.
all right. Happy New Year. All right, bye, bye, bye.
Bye bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website www.williamandthemagicbox.com and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye. See you next time.